Hi, we're here at the Defeat Autism Now conference with Jenny McCarthy. We're going to talk a little bit about Generation Rescue and her views on biomedical therapies. Welcome.
Thank you.
So tell me, first off, you've written a number of books, which I think are fabulous, and I've recommended a lot to a lot of parents. Matter of fact, your latest one is fantastic, and I see so many kids in my practice who fit so many of those stories. So I appreciate very much you doing that. Tell me a little bit about, your involvement and also the message you want to get out to parents about why biomedicine is so important.
The reason why biomedical treatment and biomedical medicine is so important is because it works. It doesn't work on all children, but I can be damn sure to put all my money on that it helps most children in one way or another. It might not necessarily give you a full recovery, but it can give you a full recovery. I've witnessed with my own eyes, my son Evan, that a lot of these, environmental assaults that's going on with them can be treated through diet, through detox, through supplementation. And at these DAN conferences, it's a great community to be around because you hear the stories of other moms, which is why I wrote the book, Mother Warriors, because I wanted people to know it's not just my story of recovering. It's a whole nation of parents recovering their children through biomedical treatment.
What do you, from your experience with Evan, what were those therapies that you felt were critical? The things that every parent should know who's starting this process should implement with their kids?
Without a doubt, diet, right off the bat. Once I learned why also wheat and dairy have an effect and turned into an opiate and made him stoned and drunk, I went, that makes sense. I eliminated wheat and dairy. Then Evan looked malnourished. He wasn't getting the nutrients from food like most kids do, and I learned that yeast sometimes can, take away a lot of those nutrients, and they're usually malnourished, our kids. So I started supplementing vitamins. So diet, vitamins worked. Then I found out about yeast and candida and how a huge number of our children do have a lot of yeast in their gut. And once I detoxed Evan from yeast with an antifungal, after 6 months, he pretty much lost his label from the state. So by the age of 4, he was considered, not autistic anymore.
Not on the spectrum.
Correct.
I have seen, I tell people over and over, it's amazing the power of yeast and the problems that it has and how pervasive it is with the community. Anything else, therapy-wise, that you're hearing from other parents?
Yeah, tons. There's so many different therapies that parents are talking about. The antiviral therapy with Veltrex, I've seen numerous amazing results from that. Hyperbaric chamber treatments, so many parents have said, I did 40 dives, my kid came out with conversation. Some parents said, I got nothing out of it. B12 shots, another great in language from parents. Infrared sauna, the detoxing through, sweating in those infrared saunas can just do wonders if you have a kid that's not prone to seizures and heat seizures. The list goes on, and it really, what I tell parents, and my best advice I can give on biomedical treatment is there's a whole menu. It's like going to a restaurant. And you kind of have to know your child, trust your doctor, and choose which ones feel right and that you can afford, are the most realistic. And then if one doesn't work, you don't close the menu and say, this restaurant sucks, it didn't work. You go on to the next one, and then you go on to the next one, and you keep trying, because autism really is, recovery is a big puzzle piece of trying to fit which piece goes in for your particular child. So my message is to keep trying.